This is Good Morning Jacksonville.
Good Sunday morning out there to you early birds. I'm Bethany Anderson. You guys are on TV right now. Grab your cup of coffee. Good morning, Steve. Maybe a bathrobe. It's very chilly in this. Let's take a look at your headlines in the fast lane this morning. Hidden apps, hidden dangers. First Coast News investigates the apps that might be on your kids' phones right now. We are not the only ones that are bracing for some nasty weather. The uncle of a missing pregnant teenager from Jacksonville will face a judge today. Stolen stuff is just not returned. But now there's a new device that police can use to change all of that. We are going behind the scenes of a local mom and pop pizza shop. I just have happier things to watch, like puppies and the show with organizing.
Or the next half hour of the show.
Or the next half hour of Good Morning Jacksonville.
Can you tell me again where you're from? I apologize.
Chicago, Illinois.
And Chicago is known for gun violence. After you hear about what Jacksonville's been going through lately, what do you think the cities are similar?
I don't think the cities are similar. I think people's hearts are similar. And I honestly think that we need to pray and to get rid of the guns.
Thank you so much, Marquise, and we're so glad that you guys are alive and okay, and I'll be praying for you tonight.
Thank you.
Do you need water? Can we bring you anything? Okay. Wrapping up our interview with Marquise, he and his girlfriend survived. They're both big gamers, and you hear that they're devastated. This was not something they ever thought would happen to them, and now they're just going to have to live lives like this never happened. The grieving will have to begin. They'll have to process everything. And they're one of the many people, you heard him, 100 people that were inside there when that shooting happened. We're going to remain out here tonight to continue to speak with a lot of these victims as they continue to leave tonight.
That's right, Heather. You know, Jordan Williams told me he never wanted to be a hero, but when he heard about the shooting, he knew he had to step in and save a life.
Out of nowhere, a woman came in screaming and yelling, talking about they're shooting, and all of the girls, all the workers ran to the back, and I ran outside.
What were you thinking when you threw yourself out there, not knowing where the shooter was? What were you thinking?
I wasn't. When I ran outside, I seen about 30 or 40 people running away from Chicago Pizza, and I actually seen Timothy and Selma bleeding and hurt. I got everyone that was around, put them into the building, and I locked all the doors. And then I went straight to him, and I took care of him for the full 15 minutes before EMTs arrived.
When you pulled him inside the building, Hooters, what did you start doing? Did you start applying pressure?
His hand was bleeding really, really bad at the time, and his hand was hanging. And I put it together, I wrapped it up, and applied pressure to it, so I made sure that it was together. I actually placed both of my hands, I grabbed wags and wet them with peroxide, and I kept my hands on him until the EMTs arrived because I had to apply pressure.
Were you talking to him?
I was just telling him that he was freaking out, telling him, calling his mom that he's scared. I was just telling him, I was like, calm down, you have to focus on your breathing, you have to make sure that you're not freaking out because then your blood pressure rises and you can bleed more.
How do you know so much about wounds and anatomy? It sounds like you have a pretty good understanding of it.
My mother and my sister are nurses.
Do you believe God had you?
I absolutely believe he did. I absolutely believe that he put me in that position just to do that.
You saved a very important life that day. How do you feel?
I've gotten millions of messages and phone calls and everybody telling me I'm a hero, and actually I don't really like being labeled as a hero because it wasn't my intention to become a hero. It was my intention to help people, and that's exactly what I did.
Timothy's hand surgery was yesterday, and we are still waiting to hear back from the family to see how that went. It will determine whether or not he will be able to continue to play games. As for Jordan, he says he's going to be with him for every step of the way. Reporting live from the Landing, Bethany Anderson, First Coast News, on your side. Time now is 7:06, and let's take a look at your headlines in the fast lane. A man arrested for a McDonald's drive-by shooting appeared in court this week. A judge set Rashid Kareem's bond at more than $1.8 million. Back in August, Jamie Lawyer was in the drive-thru at McDonald's on Bay Meadows Road when police say her boyfriend Kareem shot her multiple times. He waived his right to a speedy trial and would be back in court next month. The Glenn County Sheriff's Office, they're warning people about a scam going around. People are pretending to be deputies with the Sheriff's Office and demanding your hard-earned money. If you get one of these calls, just hang up and call police. Ford is recalling nearly 1 million vehicles for faulty airbags that can explode and hurl shrapnel. That includes nearly 800,000 cars here in the U.S. alone. The recall includes the Ford Edge, Fusion, Mustang, and Ranger. Nearly 23 people have been killed worldwide from those airbags. Starting tomorrow, United Airlines, they're only allowing dogs and cats to fly as emotional support service animals. This comes a year after a passenger, get this, tried to fly with a peacock. The airline says emotional support hedgehogs and sex peacocks, those are all now banned. Put them on the bus, maybe. A railroad company called Virgin Trains USA has plans to connect Jacksonville to the rest of Florida. People on the First Coast would have the option to easily travel to Miami, Orlando, or even Tampa. And officials say this could bring a lot of jobs here to the First Coast.
Bethany, let's be honest, when was the last time you went to the movie theater? It's been a minute for me.
Probably a couple of years.
Couple of years?
Yeah, I know. I never go to the theater.
Months. You ever go to the movie theater by yourself? Call it a cinematic adventure. It's fantastic. Well, the numbers have been down since we haven't been in a while, and many people in 2019 haven't been venturing up to the box office.
Yeah, those numbers, they are steadily declining with the help of people like me. NBC's Julia Bordston has some of the reasons, though, why that's happening.